Hi everyone! Today we are going to learn the last section of Chapter 11, which is 11.7 Volume of Pyramids and Cones. Volume of a pyramid. The volume V of a pyramid is volume is equal to 1/3 times the base times the height, where B is the area of the base and H is the height. So let's start with our first problem here. We're going to find the volume of this pyramid. So from the last slide, we know the volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Well, if you look at the base here, we can see that the base is a triangle. So we have to use the area of a triangle. So volume is equal to 1/3. The area of a triangle is 1/2. The base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. Then we need to multiply all of that by the height of the pyramid. So 1/3 times 1/2. The base of this triangle is 4. The height of this triangle is 6. And the height of this pyramid is 9. So if I plug all of this into my calculator, I end up getting 36. We are measuring this in meters, and since we're talking about volume, we have to cube it. So 36 meters cubed is our answer. Volume of a cone. Volume of a cone, V, is equal to volume is equal to 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Well, if we look at our cone here, we notice that the base is a circle, so we are going to have to use the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. So the volume is going to equal 1/3 times pi r squared times the height of the cone. So let's do this example together. So volume is equal to 1/3 times the area of a base, which we talked about as a circle. So that is going to be pi times the radius squared. And we need to multiply that by the height of the cone. So let's plug in what we know. 1/3 times pi times the radius here is 2.2. And I need to square that. And the height of my cone is 4.5. I guess I should put this in parentheses. You plug that right into your calculator. Make sure you use the pi button, and you will get approximately 22.81. We're measuring this in centimeters, and since we're talking about volume, it's cubed. So 22.81 centimeters cubed is our answer. Find the volume of this right cone. Now, we do not know the height of this cone, which is important in our equation. But if you can see what I highlighted, we have a right triangle there. And we can then figure out the missing side of a right triangle by using the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So in this case, let's call A 5. Let's call B x. So I have x squared is equal to c is 8, so 8 squared. Now we can easily solve for x, so this becomes 25. X squared is equal to 64. x squared is equal to 39. Now 39 is not a perfect square, so we're going to get some crazy answer. Instead, I'm just going to keep x is equal to the square root of 39. That way I have more of an exact answer. Scroll down a little bit. So now we know volume is equal to 1/3 the area of the base, which is pi times r squared times the height. Let's plug in what we know. So 1/3 times pi. Our radius is 5. And our height, which was x, we know is the square root of 39. And if you plug that into your calculator, you should get approximately 163.49. We're in meters, so meters cubed. And that is my final answer. Find the volume of this right cone. This problem's a little tricky. This time we do not, well, we know the height, it's 16. We do not know the radius. However, they do give us the angle measure here, which means we're going to need to use tangent. So our tangent equation is tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. I know I'm using tangent because I know the legs. I don't know the hypotenuse. So I know the legs. I have my angle measure here. That's tangent. So let's plug in what we know. So tan theta is the angle measure, which in this case is 65, is equal to opposite. The opposite side of the angle is 16. Divided by the adjacent side, which in this case is r. We need to solve for r. The easiest way to do that is first get r out of the denominator, and I do that by multiplying by r on each side. Those then cancel. So r times tangent of 65 is equal to 16. To get r by itself, I just need to divide by tan of 16 on each side. So r, my radius, is equal to 16 divided by tan of 65. And I can plug that into my calculator and approximate that. And when you do so, you get 7.46. So this is going to be used for my radius. All right, so back to our equation. Volume is equal to 1/3 times the base, which is a circle. So the area of the base is pi times r squared times the height of the cone. So let's plug in what we know. So 1/3 times pi. For my radius, I'm going to use the 7.46. I'm going to square that. And my height, I see, is 16. Plug this into your calculator, and you get 32, I'm sorry. I'm just going to cross that out. 932.45. I'm in feet, so feet cubed. And my last problem here, I want to find the volume of this solid. If you notice, I have a cylinder and I have a cone. So to find the total volume, I'm going to have to find the volume of the cylinder and the volume of the cone and add them together. So let's start with the cylinder. So volume of the cylinder is equal to pi r squared times the height. And we learned that from a previous section. Volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 the area of the base, which is pi r squared times the height. Well, if I look at the cylinder here, my radius is 2 and my height is 5. So pi times my radius is 2 times my height, which we said was 5. Plus, here we're going to have to figure out what the height of this cone is. And you can kind of see that I started to outline this triangle. We have a right triangle here. We know that this side is 2. We know that the hypotenuse is 7 because this side here is 7. So we need to solve for x. So a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. In this case, let's call a x. So x squared plus b, we're going to use 2, is equal to 7 squared. This means that x squared is going to equal 45. Once again, 45 is not a perfect square, so we're just going to use the height of the square root of 45 to give us a more exact answer. Alright, so now I can fill in the volume for the cone. So 1/3 times pi. The radius of this cone is 2. And the height, we said, is the square root of 45. Plug all of this into your calculator, and you end up getting that the volume is equal to 90.93. We're in inches. And you're going to cube it. And that's it.